Hello everybody, it's Kelly Oblak with this week's Sketch It Out Thursday layout. This is our inspiration piece for the week, and I mainly took the colored pink with a little bit of gray and the idea of the heart. That's my sketch right there, and it's from the Elle's Studio blog, or Ellie's Studio blog. I'm going to be using quite a few pieces from Maggie Holmes' open book. And I recently was at Tuesday Morning and was able to purchase the paper pad, 12 by 12 paper pad, for a really nice price. I didn't get the collection when it first came out, so I thought it was kind of fun to be able to do that, and I was a little low on like my crate paper Maggie Holmes kind of stash. I've used a lot of it, so it was kind of a neat opportunity to be able to do that. What I'm doing there is I am going to echo the two vertical strips in the sketch, and I have my photos placed basically the way they are. I am using though two 4x4 photos, and I'm actually turned the sketch as well. If you go back and look at the original sketch. So I cut that piece of paper from open book, that ombre wood, and this should have been really easy, but it isn't. The first thing I discovered is for some reason one of the pieces was a lot shorter than the other. I don't quite know what I did there, but it was. And then I realized that I cut another piece crooked. So what should have been a really simple thing to just cut two vertical strips was not at all. That floral piece is also from the Maggie Holmes open book 12 by 12 paper pad, and that has the pink flowers on it and like some greeny gray leaves, and then there's some gray sketched flowers in the background. So that's where I really looked at the inspiration piece, and that and this ombre wood paper, I when I went to pull it, because I knew I probably wanted to use a more shabby chic or something like that crate paper line. So I immediately thought of crate paper because of the tea photos, because this is a historic home, and it was built in the 1800s, so that paper, crate paper would just fit it really, really well. So I got my ATG to work, and I finally was able to glue down those strips of paper on the side. And as I said, I did turn this sketch. So what I'm looking at now is I decided I didn't really like the papers just sitting on the floral paper, so I'm trying a few things out there. I didn't like the wood or the khaki color. The pinks were not right. And then I found this piece from Crate Paper Notes and Things. The paper is called With Love, and I really like the way that looks. You really can't see the dots. You might get a little bit of a shadow in there, but that's not what I was going for. I mostly really liked the green there. So that's what I really, really wanted to do. What I really wanted to highlight. And it's soft enough that it's a very subtle color change when you look at the layout. And that is really what I wanted to do. I didn't want it to be really noticeable, and that was one of the problems I was having with some of the pink papers, is they were a little bit too noticeable. So now I'm kind of looking, there is something in the sketch on the right side there, so I'm thinking that's what I want to do. And I'm going through some of my cut apart sheets here, just thinking that I might use that. And I don't know exactly where that one was from. A lot of these are just sheets that I have kind of sitting around in my little envelope of crate paper things. That cut apart there, I believe, is from Style Board, and I got that at Hobby Lobby. At least I think it's from Style Board. It also might be Flea Market. I'm not sure. Anyway, Hobby Lobby has those sheets of paper, and that's where I got those sheets. And I keep them because they're great for little embellishments, really. And now I'm going to cut this piece out, and I'm going to play with it for a while. I'm thinking about using it, but I'm not going to end up using that one. Okay, and again, just going through and looking at what's out there. This little cut apart that says photographer's notes is from Maggie Holmes' open book. That's a cut apart from there. And at first I put it on the top there. That is going to move, however. I'm thinking about where I might go. And I like the that little annual pass thing there, but I really like it when I put the green behind it. And it just pops it off the page even more. The other thing I really like is that the green is now touching the photos, it's touching the main floral paper, and it's also touching the ombre wood paper. So it's touching the main elements, plus it's touching that little annual pass piece of ephemera. So it's touching multiple layers, which helps bring your layout together. Now, I just went and I grabbed another sheet of paper there, and I cut a camera out from that. That's another one of those that I got from Hobby Lobby, but it's a Maggie Holmes piece of paper from Style Board, I believe. When Hobby Lobby does that, they don't put any names on anything. There's no branding strip on them at all. So you have to kind of know what the paper is. Now, what I'm doing here is I just got the Schmel Go Now Go collection in, and I had these wood buttons. And when I looked at the inspiration piece, I thought of this heart button on there, and I thought, oh, that would be cute with the whole just sort of crepe paper look behind it. So it's one thing that I really wanted to get on this layout because I thought about it quite a bit, thought about it, made me think of it right away. So that is going to end up on the layout. Now I'm going through and I'm looking at these Maggie Holmes word stickers, the gold word stickers, and I like them quite a bit, but they were almost too big for this layout. Like, they drew too much attention. I wonder if it's because of the scale of the photos, maybe, along with the scale of the word sticker. That's the only thing that I could think of, because normally I love using those, but it just seemed to be a little bit too big for me. And who knows? I'm looking at some more ephemera here, and I find that little scalloped journaling spot. It's a die cut, and I'm not exactly sure what collection that's from. It's crepe paper, I know that for sure, but it was I have a package of things that are just sort of a mix. It might be from the Pier, it might be from something else. It's just a mix of odds and ends that I have left from packages where I don't have many left of anything. But I decided to put that up behind the camera in the top, although I'm going to struggle with this a little bit because it's missing something to my eye. I just can't tell what that is yet, and it's going to take me a while before I can figure that out. So that's, I think that's a good thing for you to see a struggle. I didn't mind this with that little journaling spot there over the top of it, but one of the big things that I didn't like is when I did that, I dropped the camera down so far that I covered the beautiful light in the photograph. And since that's part of the whole atmosphere of this photo, I didn't want to cover that. And I'm continuing to go through my ephemera packs from both Maggie Holmes and crepe paper to see what else I can find. You do this really fast when you're on camera, not so fast when you're not on camera. So now I was looking for some pieces. I think this is Craft Market. Kind of looking at some pieces to try to see if there's other things that I could use. I really liked the stamp idea, and I knew that I had a second one, so I was kind of looking for that and to see if there was anything else that I could find to work there. The one thing I didn't tell you is I have that little piece there on the left. That's kind of a red orangey pink color that says daughter. And that die cut is from Crepe Paper Close Knit. It's from the ephemera pack from Close Knit. So I'm going to play around here trying to get this stamp to work for me. And I'm going to play around with it, but it's not going to work in the end. Part of it was, I think that it was too much horizontal on the left side there, and it was too much horizontal right across from the top of the cluster on the right. If you can see that, it's almost like there's a line going straight across the page, and I didn't really care for that for my eye. I'm thinking in my head that I want a vertical element in that left cluster, but I'm not quite sure what it is. And while I'm looking for that, I'm also going to see if I can find something else to maybe work for that upper cluster. And I find this flower. That die cut flower is from the Oh Darling ephemera pack. And I really like that. And I'm thinking about that bow, but again, that bow is too horizontal. Now I do find this label, and that label is kind of a peachy pink. That again is from the Oh Darling ephemera pack. And that, I'm thinking I'm going to use that, and then I'm going to go away from it, and then I'm going to use it again. And my ATG, runs out of tape, so I need to get that all fixed. You can do this pretty fast once you get used to it, even when it's not sped up. So now I have the clusters basically the way they are. I'm going to take my, I believe it's Vintage Photo ink, and I'm going to ink up the green paper that I have the photos matted on, and then I'm going to ink all of the die cuts as well. I really needed them to stand out a little bit off of the background paper, because it really was that the photograph cluster and all the clusters themselves were really blending in a little bit too much for my personal liking. So I went through and I will ink everything now. And I'm starting to get my clusters down. Now, I just did this 2 days ago, but I cannot remember for sure. But one of the things that I'm going to do is I'm going to cut that scalped card from the top in about half. And if I remember correctly, I didn't show this on camera. I actually took the bottom half of that and I put it at the bottom of that cluster on the right, underneath part of the title. And it'll end up joining the title and the cluster itself together. So because I'm positive, almost positive that you didn't see that. So when I go to the still shots at the end of the video, take a look at that when you see the bottom right cluster, and you'll see what I'm talking about. All right, so I'm getting my little remember arrow down there, and then I'm getting that little daughter die cut there as well, and I'm going to grab my foam tape so that I can get that daughter up on something. I wanted to do that because the heart button in the other cluster is three-dimensional. It just gives a little more dimension to my layout. And I'm kind of playing with where I want this placed. It's very horizontal, and I didn't totally love it, but you know, I'm dealing with it. And as I'm looking at this now, I can't decide, do I want to put that peachy colored label in there or not? I end up doing that. So now that's where I cut that die cut in, or I cut the die cut, and then I'm going to put the camera and the flower in that cluster up there. And just fiddling with it here because I think I don't want the flower to go up over the top, and I don't want to cover that light, if you remember me telling you about that light. So that's why I was playing with that a little bit. foam tape behind the camera for the same reason. I want a little bit of dimension. I love that foam tape. You can buy the giant rolls on Amazon. I've had it for I think 2 years, and I use a lot of foam tape on layouts. So, but with a roll that big, I never worry about actually, you know, using it or not. Now I'm back at those stamps again because I really like them. I'm trying to use them, trying to use them, trying to use them. I've tried these on quite a few layouts, and I just haven't made them work yet. I think part of it is they're so little and small. So they'll work eventually. Now I just grabbed my brand new enamel dots from the Chamel Go Now Go collection, and I'm going to end up using some of those on the layout because I think I want a little touch of gold, and I'm going to know that for sure once I choose this title. I have had these thickers for a while. They're from an early Chamel collection. I don't know if it was her first or her second, but I have a hard time using round thickers. And I just thought it's such a kind of muted brassy gold. I thought it would look great on this layout. So what I'm doing is I'm just kind of testing it to see if I can spell out. I'm thinking about spelling out the word mansion so that I can write Schuster Mansion up on the top there, and then I decide Schuster would be too big there, so maybe I should write the word the, and it's just not working for me. Or I'm thinking about doing Schuster right here, and I just don't like it because it's such a big block of gold, and there's not going to be a lot of gold anywhere else on this layout. So I'm really thinking about what I'm going to do for this title. Now these thickers are not very sticky, so I will tell you that one of the things that I did is I eventually put them down with glue dots, but they did not stick to this layout at all. So here's where I'm thinking about doing the mansion, but again, I just don't like the way that looks up there. I just really want one line. And as I'm thinking about that, all of a sudden I realize, wait, there's like a perfect spot down here on the bottom to put mansion along the bottom, and then that will join the top and the bottom really, really well. You'll see here I'm going to put the hearts on here, and then I will also do some journaling on those cards, but not on the video. I'm going to need to think about what I want to say there a little bit. And like I said, I did put glue dots behind each of those title circles, but you'll see that there. All right, hope you are all well. Come back and see us tomorrow on the Crafty Maven Getaway. Take care. Bye.